Hello, everyone. It's Live Wednesday show. Welcome to Your View on TVC. I am Tokpe Mark Odige. And as usual, we have the live audience. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Full house. Thank you all for showing up. We also have a guest co-host for today, Precious.
Yes. It's good to be here.
Precious Igara. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks, Hugh. Thanks
How
for
you
having
doing?
me.
I've been with these guys for, like the two of you, you've been together this week. It's going to be a week-long journey.
Still gist for you, so.
You have, can you imagine? Precious, how is the dating scene?
Wow, that's what we're doing now.
I'm throwing it out there, yes. Precious is pretty, she's smart, and she's on the market. Don't dog, grab her right now.
Okay, I haven't even marketed myself that way.
Don't worry, I'm doing the job for you. You don't need to say anything. And if they are calling your number, just say, talk to Tokwe, she's my manager.
Nice.
She's sifting through all of you to ensure I get the best.
You heard it here first, so talk to Tokwe.
How you doing?
I'm very well, thank
How's
you.
work?
It's been a ride, but we're grateful. We're grateful. 2020 is awesome. Like, looking at it wholesomely, not just as 1 year, looking at it as a decade. It's awesome. Just look at, imagine good things coming.
Imagine, 2010, I did not have that mindset of look at the decade. But now, I think we're growing, actually. Mariam, what's going on?
What happened?
You don't have any gist for me.
Oh,
You've gisted everything on Monday and Tuesday.
But I have something interesting. You know, I like to talk about my kids.
Okay.
And we learn a lot from our children. So I've asked them to start washing their stuff when they get back to school. We used to do that, but we just never followed through. But this year, this new decade, we're going, you know. And my daughter, who is 5, she would come back from school and do it without any drama. Her brother, that's 8, will roll all over the floor, scream and cry before he finally does it. And yesterday she tried to help him. He was shouting at her, leave me alone. She came to the house. Why are you crying? He said, I was trying to help him. He was not really washing it well. I wanted to help him pour the water away, and he just kept telling me, leave me alone. I said, Auntie, girls, let me warn you. Don't carry exactly. Don't carry this attitude to adulthood. Don't go and help men that don't need your help or don't appreciate it. This is where it ends. So I was just in the father. The father said, don't worry. His attitude will win her off that behavior before she grows enough to meet those sort of persons. And I'm like, you know, from home, from our child, we actually learn things. We don't.
So I almost feel that this thing is genetic because among my 2, of course, even though one is younger, and I'm trying to take your plate, you ate from this plate, so you take it. He'll say, no, Ofa, I finish. Can you carry your plate for me? So, and he will insist, and then she just comes. Next time, you do it yourself, and then she takes it. We're not doing any training.
I think it's a huge responsibility being a parent, especially with the knowledge that we have now. We should do a better job with raising our children, intentionally putting the right values in them. Especially since we have many adults that are suffering from anger management issues. We need to help our children manage their anger. Be responsible and have emotional stability. It's our responsibility for both mothers and fathers. Once again, I want to applaud you all for coming on the show. Thank you to our live audience. We'll take a break now. When we return, we'll go through the top stories in the newspaper. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. We're starting off the newspaper review with The Nation. Major headline, Operation Amotekun. NLC bishops back security outfits. Governor's IG meets. Attorneys General fine-tune bill. Cleric slam federal government. Why government is seeking $17 billion loan from China by minister. $8.6 million cash seized at Lagos airport. Buhari, Muslims are 90% of insurgency victims. Killings worry JNI. And Oyo Assembly indicts sacked council chiefs. Police seize charms. So
the major headline, in order to properly, you know, all the suggestions given and advice given about the Amotekun is that, it wasn't properly founded. So they are going back to the table and trying to properly found it on a stable foundation. And the governors, all the Southwest governors will be meeting with the Inspector General of Police tomorrow. And all the Commissioner of Justice and Attorney Generals of all the Southwest states are also meeting to properly lay down the laws, the law that that will back Amotekun in all the states that will jointly back it as well in the southwest. So that's the basic of the.
We have the frame. The entire they have the entire February to put together the formal bill that will now be signed into law to ensure that Amotekun is legal within the southwestern states. So we're looking forward to seeing how that works out, because I know many other states want to follow the same method and they are waiting to see how the southwest lead this platform. Moving on to Nigerian Tribune, major headline: Buhari writes for Christians today, says religion can't divide Nigerians. 90% Boko Haram victims are Muslims. Praises and Dimi is church for their work in the northeastern region. Buhari also launches new visa policy to boost economy, US visa ban, reps to interface with executive diplomatic mission. Amotekun response to relentless killings, abduction that's from the NLC. And Osun stops fresh registration of Okada. No going back on Okada tricycle ban, says Sanwo-Olu. Customs impound $8.06 million at Lagos Airport. Akeredolu visits Buhari, invites him to commission or a flyover bridge and other projects. How electoral contest rob government of tax revenue. That's from the FIRS boss. So major headline.
Major headline, the reps seek diplomatic, like the conversation between America, the US.
The story about Buhari and the Christianity.
What he wrote for the Christianity
what he was talking about.
Okay, so honestly, that one about it, what really touches me is that it's affecting all of us as Nigerians, irrespective of the religion. It's one less Nigerian or 100 less Nigerians, that die every time that this happens. So I'm asking that he assures us that there's, security for our people, even if, you're a voodoo worshiper or, whatever,
I really like the what he wrote, and I think Nigerians should read it. And what he's basically saying is that let's not allow these people divide us along religious lines. We are not each other's enemy. They are the enemy. Do you understand? They have broken us. They have killed us. They have killed imams as well as Christians. They have abducted Muslim students as well as Christian students. So let's not give them further fuel to divide us. But we should come together and make sure, and then we should use the late Khan leader who was beheaded for refusing to renounce his religion, and use that to sort of, bring ourselves together and together in faith. We're a country that believe in God and we have our faith. And so it's a very good article, and it's a very, I love the tone, because usually what we would get is sarcastic tones here and there. So this is good. This then is really I just wanted to add Sanwo-Olu, our governor of Lagos State, is saying that there is no going to be any, the ban would continue. Okay. And he has just, he's also assuring that before the end of the year, about 500 buses will be rolled out, and about 300, 30 speedboats will also be rolled out. He also commissioned the Lag Ferry app. It's a mobile app where you can get on the buses. He commissioned 8 locally manufactured speedboats as well. So he's just saying to us that we're on it, and the reason why that ban was made was to protect Lagosians from security, it's for security and safety reasons. And for him, that is his focus. It may be inconvenient for us, but that's our focus. That's what he said.
Your state your state assembly ad hoc committee has uncovered a few discrepancies, illegal withdrawals. They discovered that there were undue inflation of contracts that have no direct benefits for the grassroots within those local governments.
The problem I have with this ad hoc committee is that it was commissioned to investigate between May 2018 to 2019 June.
You wanted them to
but the report is coming out now when the chairman and the present administration are having issues in Oyo State. So, sometimes we need the houses of assembly to show their independence from the executive clearly. I would really have appreciated if it came much earlier.
So let's take the next paper, Daily Trust, major headline. 6 years after, Chibok girls sighted at Sambisa Forest, abductors ready to negotiate. That's from sources. I hear some response from the audience. NLC to Buhari, nowhere in Nigeria is safe. Buhari's indifference worsens APC crisis in states. Saudi Arabia's ambassador to Nigeria is dead. US to Nigeria, you repay Abacha loot if restolen. 90% of Boko Haram victims are Muslims, that's from Buhari, and custom to spend 577 million naira on boreholes and 128 million naira on television sets.
And which has been approved by our House
And it has been
National Assembly
approved
against the Auditor General's advice.
Okay, so the Auditor General did not want them to spend this money.
Because the accounts that were not audited, according to some of the papers, were supposed to be off this, but they went ahead and approved this amount for the customs. And this is what is marked for. I wanted to take the Chibok girl story. This is 2,125 days after they were abducted. According to one of the hostages that was recently released, she said she cited them amongst the hostages that were in Boko Haram's custody where she found them, and that the suggestion of the commanders is that they're willing to negotiate the release of these girls. You know, we've always called on government to, especially for Leah, who I feel is alone in their captivity, because all the people that were taken along with her were released and she's still alone there. You know, it's going to be tougher, the trauma that she's going through, because she doesn't find a familiar face, that, you know, someone that she knows. And government has to be very, very sincere in this bid to get them back. We can't continue to give reports today that they're fine, they've not been killed. You know, even the back and forth on whether they've been killed is sort of torturing for people, talk less of the parents and family members.
Let's get those girls back.
Yes,
You know,
very
that's
important.
just it. So US says to Nigeria that we will repay Abacha loot if restolen, because there are allegations that people are actually that they might be relooting
their money.
Anyway, so on the 3rd of February, they signed a memorandum of what do you call them? An MOU.
Yes.
So between Nigeria and the United States government, and of course they had a few conditions. So the monies will be used by the Nigerian Independent Sovereign Authority for 3 infrastructure projects in strategic economic zones in Nigeria. But there also has to be mechanisms for monitoring how this money is spent, and also room for external oversight to make sure that we're spending this money right. And if there's a new looting or a new fraud, Nigeria will pay for it this time around.
I don't blame them for giving us conditions for giving us
back our own money.
Because our leaders have proven that they don't know how to manage our resources and they are selfish.
No, but this matter is settled and a done deal. According to the papers last week, this money will be moved to the sovereign fund account and be used for 3 major projects: the second Niger Bridge, the Kaduna-Abuja Rail, and you know, these things were settled. They should see, we're a sovereign nation, and it's not right for another sovereign nation to feel free to give us an ultimatum.
Your leaders should not be taking their money to another country.
They are complicit because they received these funds, put it in their accounts, used the interest accrued to develop their country before they're returning it. So they cannot just sit comfortably and the US telling us. We know that our people are corrupt. But the matter is that
anyhow you look at it, you know, we brought it in. If you bring infested firewood, don't complain about the insect. We're there.
Moving on to Daily Sun.
The insult.
Federal government raises flooding alarm, urges Nigerians to prepare for greater incidents this year. Lament predicts flight delays and cancellation. Coronavirus: 65 Nigerians trapped in Chinese city run out of food, medicine, cry out. We have no distress call. We have gotten no distress call from Nigerians there. That's from the federal government. Federal government gives hope on lifting of U.S. immigration visa ban, and custom intercepts $8 million at Abuja airport. New visa policy: journalists, clerics, sports stars, others to get single entry. 5 airports designated for visa on arrival. Anxiety as oil pipeline explodes in Imo, and Nigeria, U.S., land of Jersey signed deal for repatriation of $318.4 million Abacha loot.
So major headline quickly, because as it concerns us now, we're going to take up. The head of the Nigerian Hydrological Service Agency has predicted 2020 flooding again, following, you know,
groundbreaking.
To be more groundbreaking. Preparation for states like Lagos will be, of course, dredging. Thank you, Lagos State. I've seen the dredging. in my area. Thank you very much. Yes, they've already started on my
That's a good way to prepare.
Yes.
We need to see more of it.
So we need to see more of that. We need to see more dredging of all the canals to prepare for the rain, so that, you know, because we are on a lower bed, we can have our floor go up a bit and prepare for the rain.
And I'm sure it cuts across Nigeria. Benue tends to suffer from flooding a lot, and so if dredging would help. We have over
210,000 people displaced from the last flood across Nigeria. So it's not something we should be taking with levity.
So the visa policy, what's Nigeria saying?
The new visa policy with 79 visa classifications, there used to be 6. And the reason why it's more nice because they said that they would like for it to, the Minister of Interior says Nigeria would like for it to be more specific, and really is to foster the economic and trade relations with other African countries, improve ease of doing business and things like that. So people who are coming in, if you're an AU passport holder, you'll come in and get your visa at point of entry.
But you pay, they pay up front.
Yeah. Payment is the thing is that when you can get your visa at the point of entry, you don't have to have gotten your visa before you come in. If you're a member of the ECOWAS as well, you can come in, but just make sure you're coming in through the legally accepted ports and airports. And there are a few others, just really to just make business
inflow
better,
for people easier.
Okay, so piggybacking off that is where the resolution is passed sequel to the adoption of the motion that urgent national importance. They need to unravel the circumstances that led to the immigration restriction in the first place.
The one for the US?
Yes.
Is that the one for the US?
Yes, this one for the US.
A ban.
Yeah, so they're just still looking at it. And the president has asked his cabinet to expedite action that may lead to the review or cancellation of these restrictions.
Okay, we're hoping to see how the last paper for today, Vanguard. One story we haven't taken, which is what I want us to talk about now, is the custom intercepts $8.8 million actually cash at the Lagos airport. What's the story behind that? What happened? Who was carrying the money?
It was narco. I thought Diba took that story. It was narco that so the money was found at the airport in a bus. There was a person driving it, and it's narco. Narco, they are the ones that handle packaging and whatever cargo
shipping
in the aviation part of the industry. And the customs at the airport found that amount in the bus. So the driver has been arrested, and they're trying to find out. They said yes,
to ship it out.
Yes, they were trying to take it out of Nigeria in different bags.
So that's for
in those Ghana must go back. Secondly, they are saying they found this money, I think, sometime in early January, and they counted it. 2 days after. There was video, of course, and all the other security operatives that worked there were present during the counting of the money.
So nothing was stolen out of the money.
And that they have kept it under proper lock and key to find out what the
You don't want Slate to swallow this one, no? That's all we can take on Front Page Review for today. When we return, we have a lineup of hot topics. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. This is not a smiling issue because many people listening is paining them. Recently, as a result of the ban on Okada and Keke Marwa, or Keke Napep, whatever you call it, Nigerians are complaining bitterly, especially Lagosians are complaining bitterly about the inconvenience this has caused as the unnecessary hike in transportation. I don't understand the correlation. Buses are charging more. So Lagosians are, however, now saying, who do we take the complaints to? Because we are having this inconvenience and we don't know what to do about it. We don't have a choice. We need to pay this amount of money. Join the conversation if this is pinching you by calling us on 07080668014. It's on the screen. Or you could tweet to us at TVC Connect, please #YourViewTVC so we could take your tweets. I asked the live audience, and they've said that some of them have had to face the issue of the inconvenience of the fact that maybe you have a budget before going out, and then you get to the bus stop, and where should take you a specific amount has been increased. This is buses. The ban shouldn't directly affect them. It doesn't cost them more money. It doesn't cost them more fuel. I don't know why this is happening. But what has your experience been? And I'm starting off with the audience this time. Please pass it to her.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
My name is Kehinde Olayemi. The experience I have is because they are doing Ojota Road. That is why the price is high. Because at Ogudu Road, the Keke are still working there.
Right now?
Yes.
So you took
Ogudu Road, Keke are still working there.
Okay.
Keke Nape are still working there. But the transport fee is through what they are doing.
What's the difference?
The difference is
How much are you paying?
they are paying 150 from there to Onyekwan. Now it's 300.
Wow, that's 100%.
Yeah.
Yes. 100%
That's
hike.
100% hike. Who else has experienced the same issue? Please pass it to the man in red.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Patrick Ololo. We see the banning of Okada and is a very good development.
Okay, you like it?
Yes. There is a sanity on our roads. I went out yesterday. I went to VI. You can see everywhere is okay. You know, it's okay. But you know, in life, you have to make sacrifice to to achieve what you want.
Did you experience the price hike?
Did you experience the price hike?
Actually, when I was coming from Costain, instead of I was going to Ikeja, instead of 200 naira, they asked me, I paid 250. 50 naira difference, which is okay. It's a sacrifice.
Okay, for you, it's okay.
That's the way you see it.
Fantastic. So I'm going to ask you, Nima, because I know that Nima tends to jump out of the car, jump on the bike, to rush somewhere and come back. And you are in the community that this is their life. This is what they do. What has been your experience? What has been the feedback people have given you? What are the complaints you've heard on the streets concerning how the price hike is affecting their everyday life?
Okay, so because I just like taking bikes.
I didn't say you just like
I
taking
do.
bikes.
I actually do.
Okay.
So on Saturday, I went shopping because I needed to host family members, and I went to the market on the bike, and of course there was a 50 naira hike on the bike. So usually it's a 150 naira distance, and it was 200 naira. So willingly I paid because I knew they cannot get on the express. And you'd stop on that side of Satellite, and that's the Abulado bus stop, to get to the express and do your shopping. But the way I saw the bikes, the more matured bike men on the road, because I had taken bikes before. In fact, practically had the bike man pushing me off the bike. But I paid for sanity. That's the way I saw it.
Okay.
I personally feel that the way there are so many on the road is a threat to us as a community, as a people. Everybody just doing what they like. No regulation, impossible to even regulate. There are so many of them. Lawlessness and a lot of other crimes that happen. But with a bit of sanity, the associations that head these bike men, like the one in my area, I know the head. I've had to interface with him when I was attacked at one time with them. So I think he complains about everybody, every Tom, Jack, and whatever, being a bike man. Even he says, all the time is at the Commissioner of Police reporting crimes and answering for crimes done by bike men. We know this is a threat that we cannot continue to pay lip service to. On the issue,
you don't mind paying the extra money?
I don't mind paying for now until the amelioration comes, because I cannot talk from my own purse.
We'll talk about
other
that
people
Let me take this
having
phone
it
call
differently.
first. Ike has called us. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning, Software and everybody there.
Thank you. Good morning. How has your experience been?
Yes, my experience has been just the same. You have to stand for a while, being high on the buses. But my question is, if you say you are banning those tricycle and the bike for our safety reasons, is it the bike and the tricycle that are riding themselves? They've been ridden by human beings. If you carry the same bad character that you are using to ride the bike, to drive a bus, it will still be the same thing. So it is not about the bikes and the tricycle. It's about the person. What do you put in place as a government to train these people and make sure you are holding them responsible for whatever they cause on the roads? So it is the same. Our governor that had the experience in 2019, he applauded Pastor Adefarasi for empowering youth, vulnerable youth on the street with the same Keke Napep. And a few weeks later, he has placed a ban. So for me, I don't understand this kind of thing. If you want to do this thing, you train the people. because if you are using your bad habit to drive Keke, when they give you government bus, you still use the same bad habit to drive those government buses. So that is what I want to say. Thank you.
Good point. I want to ask Precious something, because I know that people are complaining, and I could just mention it, that what were the amelioration processes they put in place to ameliorate the discomfort that we expect the government should know would occur? And I'm hearing that they are just about to release more buses. And my expectation was that they would have released the buses before the ban would take place. What was your expectation from the government? Do you stand by this decision? Are you one of those that feel like, oh, we have sanity, oh, we have safety, no, this is fantastic? Or you're one of those saying that, I need these bikes back, I need them on the road?
Okay, so I'm going to take it from the angle of the other ones that had some form of regulation. Since we're talking about security here, that's the bedrock of this conversation with the ban.
Yeah.
So you see the Max Okada and all of those other ones, you get on a bike because sometimes you come out and Lagos is happening, life is really happening. So you have maybe 9 o'clock and you leave the house, long story short, you're late. Do you get? So you look at those bikes and you're like, this Uber. Because Lagos is the only town where you will be envious of somebody on a bike while you're sitting down in your car. That's true. This is the only city where it happens. So what are we doing about, because we say traffic, we want to take care of traffic. Are roads good? The people, the ones that had because they must have paid something to start up as transport companies. So instead of yanking off these people that have put sort of method into what it is that they're doing, you would have, walked with them.
Somehow I feel those ones will still come back. We'll take a quick break now. When we come back, I'll come to you, Mariam. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Welcome back to the show. We've been discussing the challenges that has befell the Lagosians with the issue of Okada and Keke Napep ban. We have a caller that's been waiting during the break. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning.
Please go ahead with your contribution.
Okay, my name is Frank. This is my first time calling, Sean.
Yay!
Okay, good morning. So my take on this Okada ban stuff is actually is a nice idea if you think about it. The roads will be free, but the fact that the government did not put any regulation, anything before now. Now, take for example someone that has a job interview now. The person can't go there on time. The person has to wake up normally by 4. The person has to wake up extra time to go for the job interview. It makes no sense again. Everybody is going to suffer from this, both the young ones, but even the governor, even those that work for him. Everybody suffer for it until the bans until they find appropriate mean for this. Now, take on that side, I stay in Surulere. You come down to Bazani Marshall, you see all these Keke and bike guys, they're on the road. They block the road. Any bus that pass, anybody, they are collecting money from them. Anybody that pass, come down to Body Thomas, you see it. They are collecting money on the roads along Bazani Marshall side. And the police know about it, everybody are looking the other way. Now, before you know it, crime rates will increase. It's a good idea, but still until they could have made other means before. Remember during Fashola time, when Fashola tried to ban it, he came out first with that small bus before the ban. Instead. But this one just banned everything once without thinking about everybody.
Yeah. So yesterday I was saying that this thing was done like all of a sudden and all at once. I think it would have been better received if it was done in phases. So maybe some particular local governments will go first and then next one in about a month. It also allows for people to sort of adjust, adjust to it, eventually. So I understand what the government is trying to do. I understand that our safety and our security comes first. But when we don't have enough buses on the roads, when we do not have an alternative means of transport, it sort of, makes the aim just seem, unimportant and not be sustainable. My driver, when he was coming to work today, says a lot of, he said area boys are now on the streets. And I'm like, why are they on the streets? They said, well, they used to be on the bikes before, but now they don't have the bike, so they're now on the streets harassing motorists and things like that. And he says, I'm afraid of what it may mean. So there are two ways to look at it. So if they used to be on the bikes, maybe it was harder to catch them. But now that they're on the streets, you're able to recognize them and point them out, probably, you know. And I hope that the government now, security of operatives are aware that these people who are the bad people are on the streets, and then you can catch them. If that, you know, that's the good side of it.
So, let me take this call from Hassan, called all the way from Lekki, then I'll come to you, Precious. Welcome to the show, Hassan. Good morning.
Good morning, Tope, and good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Please, you see, when people think alike, that means they don't think so much. Let me first of all commend Lagos State government for the security, because the safest state in Nigeria is Lagos State. But on this issue of banning of Okada and Keke Marwa is ill-judged, ill-timed, and it should be ill-considered.
Is there a perfect time to
what happened to the regulation? Regulate how they operate. You don't create job for people. You are taking a job created by people for themselves. And this issue we are looking at is a serious matter. Let us begin to look at this issue of trying to have a country, mega city.
Hassan, can I ask a question quickly?
Yes.
When regulation failed across the borders with the customs, what did the government do? They shut the border. Did we get results?
It is the government that failed.
Did we get results with the border closure? Regulation obviously has failed with the Okadas in Lagos.
Nima, please allow me to finish my point. Okay. We always talk about this issue of mega city. Where is mega city without people? You understand? The excuse given by Lagos State government, I listened to them carefully. They said a lot of casualties, you understand, that overstretched their facilities. Take care of that. Government is failing in its own responsibilities. The issue what we are seeing now, where is mega city without people? The IGR Lagos State government is talking about is as a result of concentration of people in Lagos. Sure. We should look at economics very well. But if you drive away people, there will be no more IGR. Let me be frank with you. The industries will not sell. The services will not sell. When we are talking about this, please, let us consider the micro and macro level of economics. We should sit down and look at it. Okay. We are all Nigerians. We deserve to live in Nigeria, and we deserve to have a better treatment from our government. Good morning.
So, I want to hear what Precious has to say, but I realize that we've discussed this thing like 3 times already this week, and most people have been saying that they don't mind the fact that bikes are off the road. They just didn't like the way it was implemented. They felt maybe they should have had more time or in phases or. But I just feel like there's no ideal time to make this kind of decision. It will be a tough decision whenever you make this, whenever you create the ban, it will be tough on everybody. So you really can't make them get ready for this kind of thing.
Okay, so even though you can't make people get ready, you still prepare them. So at the back of their mind, at the back of their head, there's the majority of people that are informed about what's about to happen. They are cushioned to take this problem. First of all, even before the ban, you're sitting down in a paid taxi, and the person at the bus stop is giving you that eye like... I told my sister one day, I said, I felt the animosity because I was doing something on my phone. I was really carried away. I was absent-minded. So just to flip and just get it, I just saw like 3 people shooting daggers at you. 3 people shooting daggers at me. I had to whine. I said, it's a taxi, or sis. You know, yeah, because people are angry. That's what we need. Yes, if you take time to watch people standing at bus stops when you're in a car, then it's visual that is there. You know, so one thing you need to know is that you need to take care of your people.
I'll take this call from Dari. I want to quickly. No, but I noticed this yesterday, but I'll take Dari first from Kwara. Welcome to the show. Good morning, Larry.
Where is the
Larry is watching TV.
Oh, Larry, you're watching the delayed one. You're watching the delayed one. I'm so sorry.
Is loud.
Hello? Can you listen to me? Oh, sorry. So this happened to me. No, sorry, please, Nima. What she was explaining, yesterday as I was driving, there were so many people waiting for buses, and there was obviously no bus coming at that time. And I had 3 kids at the back, so maybe they did not see, so they were doing like this, like maybe you should help them, and I'm like, they have kids at the back. So the boy was now pointing to the front seat where I loaded my children's school bag, you know, and I couldn't start saying, maybe I should move the bag to the book. I really would have loved to help, and I think that it might really go a long way if every car owner carries someone. I know that we don't do this for safety reasons because we feel that they might kidnap you or they might rob you. But really, you know those that are stranded. You know the person that is dressed for work and is standing and is hurried. No, but we must help ourselves.
So, we have to be safe. Carry your neighbor. I carry only my neighbors. Yes, once I leave my house, I don't carry strangers. Oh, wow. Except you're in military uniform.
Is this what we have turned into?
Hold on a minute. You need to be you need to take care of yourself. So I carry my neighbors before leaving my house. I know the people that are in my car part time. Once I stop and they get off, the only person that can get in my car that is not known to me will be in a military uniform. So you have to be, that's the only way I can help. And that risk is even risk. But I wanted to quickly answer Hassan.
Before you answer, let me quickly take this phone call. Okay. Somebody has called all the way from Kurodu. I think it's Damien. I can't. Baby, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm a first-time caller.
Oh, wow. Good to have you. Welcome to the show.
I appreciate the work you are doing.
Thank you.
But I think you can't keep debating issues like this. People always have different opinions about what government does and what it doesn't do. And I think Nigerians, they are too resilient for something bad. I've seen people that died from Okada. I've seen people that are maimed from Okada. People that have breadwinners. You can't keep debating that if they should ban it or not. They are a menace. I don't use Okada most times, but I'm very for this public person. I don't do Okada anyhow. Is it that distance is where if I cannot get to or where I cannot trust, I hardly take them. But when I'm driving, they're always like everywhere. You want the phone at the back on the express. It's not nice. Let us all agree that they need to be banned. Just like this. When nobody came up and did not do it, one of us told me, I said, don't Daru, as far as people go, when nobody came on board. It's not supposed to be like that. Let's follow up government policies that are good for us. Thank you. We go to America, we go to England, we see, we just enter a train or bus, we wait for time. You know that there is time that bus will move. We wait for time. Yes. I have to now leave my house very early. You have to leave early and turn a bus.
Thank you. It's true.
Thank you so much for your contribution.
Nigerians are so patient outside. It's the same time bus system they do in London. No, people do these things outside. I wanted to answer Hassan that, you know, the IGR of Lagos is not just based on numbers. It's also based on a working state. How many people do they catch that remit to government in Lagos? Most people find ways to cut corners, and we can't continue to run a state that is not organized. Lagos, as it is presently, is not organized, and we should commend government for trying to put it in order. That's the reality. We talk about these Okadas as the dangers that the Okadas bring is much more than the relief that they do bring. And if government is willing to meet us halfway and do the needful, we shouldn't be complaining. What I blamed government for is that the amelioration did not come before. Yeah. Not that it should. See, there's no better time to do it. What we should have is what was launched yesterday, the waterways. I live close to the lagoon. Imagine that I had a ferry. Yes, now. It should have been launched before the ban. If I had a ferry. The buses should have been released before the ban.
So at least mini buses feel that you're thinking
road is not supposed to have
them.
a bike, not supposed to have Keke Napep. How do people move within that region? What's the process?
This morning, taxi, car, doing 5 at the back. The kind of thing we used to do. Those days when you ride jam, when you get to Obalende, there's a taxi taking you to jam office. We'll 5 at the back
let's talk about the advantages and the new job opportunities with this ban. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Okay.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So I want to get a few opinion from our audience before we come to you.
Okay. Thank you very much. I just want the government to consider, take for instance, some of the students that help their parents by applying this Okada to take care of themselves at school. Some of them develop this income.
What if they die through an accident from the bike.
Yes.
The casualty rate of accidents on bike is very high.
When the government is saying it wants to bring more luxurious buses, one, we don't have good roads. Where is the road where they will fly? They will not fly the
Are you seeing the construction work going on?
No, the only one that I see is the one at Ojota, and it's really causing serious hold up. Even
but there's construction going on.
Yes.
Okay, so we must acknowledge that there is a little work being done.
But
it might not be enough.
Yes.
But they are constructing.
There is.
The buses might not be enough, but there are a few buses.
Yes.
All right, please, we would like to hear from another person.
All right, thank you.
We just need to find balance as we
thank you very much.
Analyze the situation.
My name is Fisayo Efisi Golden Officer. Into media and entertainment. What I see in all this, that we've been talking about problems, solutions and stuff, but I believe we need to talk more about solutions. And what I see here, the first thing is the governments of today, they should not see Nigerians as people they could just trample on their rights and nothing happens. Before they do the ban, they should give a prayer backup to people. Notification should be done. Not that you just trample on people's rights, because there are lots of people feeding from bikes and marijuana. And even at that point, they banned that marijuana. Some people are busy importing marijuana on that same day.
There was notification. We might complain that it wasn't enough.
A month.
We might say it's not enough, because I know people that that were still buying.
They are still buying today, yes.
Because they didn't know.
Yes.
So it might not have been enough, but there was notification that they were going to
but it might not be enough. So there should be a balance for the common man. And we should give people, foreign investors, the impression that they can invest in us. Because there are people that are invested in Bajaj and bikes. What impression would they have about Nigeria? What if they want to do other businesses with us? Would they be encouraged? So they should take all those things into consideration.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
That's nice. We have a call. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good to have you on the show. Please give us your contribution.
Yeah, first time caller, please.
Oh, wow. Welcome to the show.
Yes, I really enjoyed this topic. And as much as it's actually good that the government wants to sanitize the state, and take some bikes off the street and all of that, it also has disadvantages. People are losing their jobs, we understand. But we hope that people would actually blend with it. But I want to particularly, you mentioned earlier CMD Road. I think I've forgotten who mentioned it. And that is the reason why I'm calling. CMD Road down to Otedola Bridge. There is no, what's it called? Keke pep or bike going towards the axis. Then how do people move from, the beginning of CMD Road down to Otedola Bridge? It's really unfair. And the government has not even provided an alternative means of transportation. It's really unfair. People are trekking so much so that it's...
Our producer complained that she had to pay more to take a bike on that same road, because there was no way she would have gotten to the office. Our office is off CMD Road. And so the challenge now is people would now take the risk because they don't have any other option. You can't walk from Otedola down to the end of the road. That's impossible.
Can
there are no official options.
Here?
So people are still doing this illegally.
Let me toe her line where she said we should start to look at solutions. Now, can Nigerians too look at the opportunities within this? So some of us have cars in our houses that we've parked. We have cousins, brothers, family members who are unemployed. Can you just put your car on a person so that a short distance within the house, within your area, is what the person applies? In those days, like I mentioned earlier, when you were going to JAM office, those days when we didn't have online JAM, every form you buy, you had to go submit, or go register and check your result at the office. There are taxis at CMS, calling JAM office or Jora Road, and they would carry you 3 or 4 at the back, 2 in front, that kind of arrangement. It was more dignifying. And they will still get you there in time.
Or we could bring in those ones that are in Ibadan.
Nigerians,
Ibadan small
personally
taxis.
now, I want to buy those small taxis. Yes. I'm already looking at the opportunity. If I can see loan, partnership, to quickly do these things.
Well, you need to be aware because our investments might go.
Yeah, so there's another part. We started it, but I don't think we have talked about it enough, and that's the price hike. So we find ourselves, here we are now. I mean, no matter what we say, the ban has happened, and we have to live with it. But one thing that has come out of this, which is very unfair, is the price hike. we cannot have these buses continually do this to us, and even the taxis and the taxifiers and the Uber using an opportunity to just, you know, increase the prices. I know that the NURTW came out yesterday saying that they're not part of this with the price hike as well. I would like to know exactly what they're doing exactly to make sure that these prices are maintained, the right prices are maintained, and also for the mobile apps and things like that, that we have to use the taxi price, and so we need to understand if they have increased their prices so that maybe Nigerians will not just use them. And after all, we still have those are yellow taxes. Maybe Nigerians will just go back to using them, but you cannot just use this sort of opportunity and just impoverish Nigeria all around. True.
Let's take this call before we go on a break. Welcome to the show. Good morning, Alhaji Subara.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tokwe.
Yeah,
good morning.
Good morning.
So please, on a serious note, Lagosians should not be selfish with this government decision. If what is the responsibility of the government? Government is to correct anomalies.
That's all.
Whatever that is abnormal, that is the responsibility of the government. All along, Lagosians has been shouting for this excessiveness, abnormalities, recklessness of Okada. So what I thought, we should not be selfish about this issue. And that is why the government is, in fact, if not because the past government, Ampode does not follow the sequence, the regulation that has been put in place by Fashola. The regulation is not new in Lagos. Yes. So people should not be selfish about this issue. The only thing I want to advise the government is that, look, they should make sure all these buses is available. Let them distribute more buses. So look at planning of Lagos, and the roads should be maintained. If you maintain the road, I mean, it's going to be thoroughfare. Everybody will move. And last man should warn. They should warn last man based on their conspiracy with all these, the commuters. Let the roads free. So people should be serious, and what the government do is about this, our security, and for the welfare and sanity of Lagos State. Thank you very much.
I must applaud LASMA officials. They have been within my zone. Within my zone, LASMA official has been working from the Magodo to the Ikeja. LASMA officials are always on the road, and they are actually conducting traffic to prevent, reduce these issues of gridlock that happen because people just don't wait for each other. We'll take a quick break, and then when we return, we'll discuss more of solutions. Stay with us. We'll be right back. We have to do something.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. We had 3 other topics set up for today, but it doesn't look like we're going to get to it because this issue affects us all. Whether you have a car or not, the issues of ban of Okada and Keke Napep influences us one way or the other. So before, like Mariam took a stand that I think that we must reiterate. We expect more from MC Oluomo and the team that are at the head and the helms of affair of the NUWRT. If MC Oluomo gave a statement saying that he has told the bus drivers not to increase the prices of buses because really it doesn't affect them directly. However, everybody that has been climbed the roads know that they've increased prices. So what we're going to say is, please, the issues is not trickling down. They are not following your directive. Kindly let them know that they should reduce the prices to what it was before the ban.
Like one of our callers mentioned, the same attitude, no matter the vehicle.
Don't suffer ourselves.
See, these buses also drive as crazily as the Okadas. They do. And they're also taking advantage of the rise in demand in, the number of people at the bus stops going whichever way. We know that what we can do to stop that is to get more buses, which Lagos State has promised to do. I'd like to see, like yesterday, I was home already at the neck of my house. The map had said there was traffic on the side of the alternative road I would take. So I went through the place where there was no traffic, close to home, just this way, side home, and there was a bad truck in front of the road. My place, they don't regulate the activities of terminals, tank farms, and all that happening. So you have tankers
those are the major cause of trailer in your area.
It's a 2-lane road, and containers are packed as if it's legal on one side of the road, leaving just one small lane for us to pass through, going and coming for cars. And then you have containers also trying to ply that same only single lane. So I was staying there on a 5 minutes drive for 1 hour plus yesterday. I took pictures and I called the GM of LASMA to report and ask, what exactly can you do? We know that there are areas like this. We would love that, you know, the regulation that we need is seen. Is holistic.
Precious.
Okay, so about this, I still go back to the point where we need to be conscious that mental health is key here. There are people that are unhappy, and that's the truth. You have the prevalence of suicide and all of that because there's that thoughts within the head. So this whole transportation thing, the solution basically is to have more of these buses, more of these cars, and let our roads be our roads and not parking lots.
Exactly.
Right? And
God bless you.
for the Uber people and all of that, I also think that with understanding that
don't exploit the people.
Yes, the surge
Which
was
is
really
what this
crazy.
is like.
Because yesterday I was supposed to go to the salon and I looked at it, I said, this thing won't work. My big sister, don't leave. Do you know, at the junction, I just saw like the surge, as in it was red. I said, you know what? I will just
I'll carry the same hair and come on the show. We have a call. I know. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How has your experience been?
Okay. What I actually want to say, it is okay if they ban Okada. It is a welcome idea. But I think maybe for the meantime, they should have leave NAPEC to work.
Okay.
Let me give you an instance. My son is doing his CWES in Lagos. He had to trek from Yaba to Eric Moore because he couldn't get bus. Imagine if he has to be doing this every day. It will break down. The problem we have is we have a government that does not empathize with the masses. It is okay if you want to do all these things, but I think there should have been something that they will put in place before they take that action. It is okay. We all know that Okada riders, they are nuisance on the road, but at least let there be something that the masses can leverage on. If you go to the bus stop, you see how people are trekking.
Thank you. I know if the commissioner for transportation has any palliative already on ground or more information, because most of the people that have called in, most of them appreciate the ban, but they don't like the inconvenience and they wish there could have been more done. So maybe we are unaware of what Lagos State has done. Maybe you call in to give us this information and let people hear what you have done to reduce the inconvenience this would cause and the cost to time. Because I know that everything Lagos calculates is, we should put Naira and Kobo to this thing. How many hours are your citizens spending on the road trying to commune from one place to the other? What is the cost of that time they spend on the road, and what's the impact on the life and well-being of Lagosians? And let us know that you care about us by telling us what you've done to reduce this hardship.
I think the governor already sort of answered that with what we read this morning.
That there will be buses.
That there will be. No, apart from that, he says your security and your safety is my focus. So that comes first, and that trumps any other inconvenience that is happening. Facing.
Okay, so
tweets,
please.
Okay, so we have Paris.
While you're coming up with, so let's take Yakub's call, then we'll come back to the tweets.
Yeah, good morning, Sister Tope.
Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Yeah, thank you very much, and good morning to you all in the studio. Let me begin by saying that I disagree with the last caller, but says that all the Okada riders are nuisance. It's a capital no. Some of them, they are graduates. They are doing this all because they don't have anything to do. Having said that, is it one of your co-hosts there? I think the new lady in the studio says something that is very, very germane to my mind. You see, we have to consider investment in the economic of Lagos State. You ban the Okada, and then you also ban the OPay, you ban the Okada, you ban Maps.com or whatever the name are. See, before these people come to operation, they liaise with the government, you sign MOU with them, and then you have them to go and start those Okada, and then the Okada starts working. What is the message you are trying to send to another people want to invest in Lagos State economy? That is number one. Number two, do you know all these are politicians? If you want to give employment, they will be buying tricycles, they will buy Okada for the people, and then you that
a politician that buys tricycle, which is Marua, and then at the end of the day, you come back and then you still ban it. During the electionary period, during the Batola era, they bought all these helmets for Okada people. They said that if you want to carry passenger, you must buy 2 helmets. And then now, you buy them totally. See,
evidence of
people that supported this ban, it is all because they have another way of proving themselves. Somebody like us, yes, I fly to Okada, I still have my car. But the reason is this: if you have your car, and then you cannot be able to help people that is stranded in the bus stop. You know why we are saying this now? See, the insecurity that this thing is going to cause, it is remain small time. Why? Because these people that are driving the Okada now, the money that is in their hand now, they have never finished spending that money. By the time they
Thank you, Yakub. Yakub has a lot to say. All valid, though. All valid. Sweet.
So Mr. PJ Comedian says the solution, as usual, is the masses finding their way out by themselves, by ourselves. We couldn't know how to adjust before. Suffer is in us already now. So Lilo Kai says, why do the government keep banning Okada and Keke Mara operators and the NURTW are still on the roads? The majority of traffic issues we have in Lagos are caused by NURTW members. When transport fares are cheap, all these bikes wouldn't really have much patronage. And Angel Nikki Ameni says, government should reorganize the Okada riders instead of banning them.
Fadele Yanu says, seriously, it's funny to want to get something at a seemingly not far place that you can easily take a bike to and fro, but now you will join queue at the park to get it. Let everyone go get bicycles then. Let's live like the Chinese. Chibuzo says, Nigerians and Lagosians should learn how to trek too. Yesterday, I trekked from Computer Village to Beggar Bridge. It's really good for our health. Also, I urge Lagosians to, the Lagos government to create space for trekkers. Monchi says, every good thing takes a lot of pain at the beginning. I only urge Lagosians to be focused and create a better Lagos. Bikes and tricycles are never a good means of transportation.
Andrew Stratham says, if I were Governor Sanwo-Olu, I would have done it in phases. First, I would improve ferry water services to ferry thousands. Secondly, increase the blue buses by 100%. Then thirdly, remove the Okada riders in phases. Do it first with the most populous local government and so on.
Thank you.
What do you think about that?
That sounds really nice. Thank you, Andrew Stratham. We'll take our last caller for today. Fola Shade, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
I'm a first-time caller.
Oh, welcome to the show.
I'm so glad I'm able to get to this morning. I've always wanted to call in on your show. Based on today's topic, personally, I support the ban of bikes and Keke, Napep, or whatever it's called. I'm not a fan of bikes because the way they drive on the road is really, really horrendous. And you know what we Nigerians, we don't understand is, I think we don't love ourselves. Hello?
Can hear you. So sorry about that. Wow. Okay, so the thing is, obviously, I think that I can take a stand to say that the policy is a good one for us all, long term, because the challenges of what the negatives around Okadas and Keke Napep outweighs the positives of the speed they bring. So, and I think having that in mind will help us understand that anytime they implement this, it will be uncomfortable for us all either ways. So let's just endure this suffering now and know that we will hopefully no government will come and bring them back to the road.
Okay, so I would want to say that now you have heard people say that you would have done it a better way. So it's not just with the Okada ban and it's not just Lagos State, it's just a Nigerian thing where we have a good idea and just impose it without putting palliatives in place. We need to learn to do things, you know, we need to learn to think things through first before we just make it a policy. So that it's not so inconvenient.
Final words for me. I'm not going to say anything different from what you said, but my angle basically is if they're still thinking about doing something, how about expediting it by bringing in these people that have already filled the gap that you couldn't fill? And moving forward as a people, we need to support government of continuity. Yep. So that it's not just everybody has a brain flash and something is good and somebody comes again, because the yo-yo, people hanging on the table are the citizens. You know, at the end of the day, they're the ones that suffer, they're the ones that don't have access to all of these things. So,
so it's commendable, and I'll just say Lagosians, look within for opportunities. Yeah. Let's start to invest in our own taxes.
Thank you so much to our live audience. We appreciate you all for coming. You all look beautiful. Don't worry. If you have to walk back home today, just take it as exercise. You will live longer. It's good for your cardiovascular health. That's what we can take on today's show. See you all tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.